to Unfiltered Romance Nights, the podcast where we dive into romance books, spill spoilers, talk spice, and chat with the voices that bring the book world to life. We are your hosts, Colleen.
And I'm Marjorie. Tonight we have USA Today's best-selling author of romance, fantasy, and whatever else she can dream up, CRJ. She is a wife, mother, and an author. Writing has always been her passion, and publishing her first series was a dream come true. She drinks too much caffeine, never sleeps, and her imagination is always churning out ideas. CRJ, welcome to Unfiltered Romance Nights podcast, and we are so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so this is going to be fun. We're unfiltered. You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
so
we
go.
can cut stuff if I get too crazy, right?
Maybe.
So everybody grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get unfiltered with CR Jane. First off, congratulations on the release of Marry Me.
Thank you. Thank you. Super excited. Got it right here.
So before we deep dive into Marry Me, we kind of like to start with a few icebreaker questions.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start off with the basics. So we know that writing has always been your passion, but prior to writing, did you ever have any other profession?
Yes. So I was a partner at a law firm until the end of May, actually. So I did that for 12 years and should have, retired from law a while ago. But you just work so hard to get there, especially as a woman. There's just not very many female lawyers, or especially who make it to the partner level. So it was so hard to say goodbye. So I had to do a slow, like I was part-time for a little bit, and then I was way part-time. And then it was like, okay, I physically cannot keep this up anymore. And so I had to say goodbye, but it's been really good to actually not have billable hours anymore. So,
Oh gosh, do you miss it?
I miss parts of it. Um, I loved my firm. I loved like the intricacy of the cases and helping people. It is a lot of getting yelled at by older men constantly. I don't miss that at all. And I also, for all these years, I have gone about my day with kind of like a weight on my shoulders for wondering like what fire is in my inbox. Like even, when you work at a firm, even when you are on vacation, you're not on vacation. Like the law never stops. So every time I did anything for the last 12 years of my life, it's been like, oh my gosh, what am I missing? What email am I missing? What phone call am I supposed to be doing? What deadline is coming up? And so just to have like actual freedom for the first time in my life has been incredible. Like today, my husband took me on, I was supposed to be writing, but he took me on a date to this like ski resort that's really pretty right now with, all the fall leaves and stuff. And I can just go and know that like even if my publisher emails me or someone needs something from me, like it's okay. Like I can just enjoy myself. And oh my gosh, guys, I just sat up there and I'm like, this is so freeing for the first time in my life. It was incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I can imagine. So like night and day. Yeah.
Yeah. So one is pretty, it's more like negative because you're always like fighting with someone, right? Whereas with and the author thing for the most part, like I have the most incredible fans, the most incredible publishers, I have a really good relationship with my agent. I just have all these positive things around me. And so that's been good. I'll always keep my license active and you never know if I'm like, oh, maybe I just want to be a lawyer this month. I'll just like, but I guess I'll always be a lawyer, but like right now I'm in retirement mode. So that's been good.
Enjoy that though, like,
Yes.
just in case when you said like maybe I should dip my toes back in, you had like,
Yeah, I have options just in case this writing thing doesn't work out right.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out. Like
It's working out.
it's working out. So when you're not writing, now that you have more freedom, kind of thing, what's your favorite way to recharge?
Oh gosh, I'm not good at recharge. And when I say that I don't have like the negative energy, like, oh my gosh, what's in my inbox? I signed like 14 books to publishers in like a 3 month period. So for the next 2.5 years, it is like the years of CR Jane. Like it's just books. I've been quiet the last 6 months because I've been having to write books, that'll come out next year. But basically starting next year, it's just like bam, bam, bam for like 2.5 years, like straight. So I love to travel. I guess I would say like that's how I force myself not to work
Mm.
is go on trips.
Mhm.
And that's like the only way that I can like stop myself. But I have been watching Dancing with the Stars, which I've never watched before, but there's this one dancer on there, Whitney Levitt, who I'm like, she is so good. I've been watching every episode so I can watch her dance because I think she and Mark are amazing. And then I'll watch The Office. I've seen like 50 billion times, but I can just put it on and I don't have to think. And I know like almost every episode by heart. So that's probably what I do. And then I do try to walk like 3 miles every morning to like start off my day and just like recharge myself and get ready to sit on the couch and write.
Oh God. Who's your favorite on The Office?
So I love Dwight. I mean, Jim is like my favorite, but like the person who I laugh at the most is probably Dwight. And then Creed just has like some hysterical, like weird one-liners that just get me every time too. So
I love that show. I freaking love Dwight.
I will like quote it. Sometimes I'll put it like lines in there, like have the turntables have turned. And then it's interesting to see like what readers get that or if they just think that that's like just they like someone sent it as a typo. They were like, "Did you mean that?" I'm like, "No, this is joke. It's like The Office, you know." But it was funny because we thought it was like a grammatical error, and I'm like, "No, it's just like most. If you read something crazy in my books, it's like on purpose usually."
That's funny. Yeah. But now let's if you could describe your writing style in 3 words or your books in 3 words, what would they be?
Okay, so like the actual content of the books or how I write them.
Let's go with how you write them. Yeah.
Okay, chaotic, unhealthy. Um, let's see. Up until the very last second. That was more than 3 words, but you know, I'm a pantser until finally, usually like halfway through the writing process, the outline will come to me. Like I'm writing The Wrong Catch right now, which is the third book in the Wrong Player series, and it is the one that actually it comes right before Marry Me chronologically, if you were to go technically in order. But I've been writing it now for like 3 weeks and the outline just came to me at like 5 a.m. I like woke up and I'm like, oh, I know what scenes need to be in there now. So now I can actually be in order. But up to this point, I will just write whatever scene seems like easiest and then I'll plug it in and make it flow, basically, is how my writing process works. So chaotic.
The
And
best
the
way.
whole waiting to the last minute, like, I was totally indie before, I started releasing these books, and I would literally go until like 10 minutes before it was due to Amazon. And now it's such a foreign concept that I have to like get things done like 6 to 8 months in advance is like
Yeah.
blows my mind. Like I'll turn in my October 26th release. I'll turn it in like in the end of November, and that doesn't come out till October. So that's
Oh, wow.
so weird to me. That's what I mean about like I'm loading the pipeline right now. So I'm like kind of like in my little hole. But yeah.
That's advanced. That's like wait, like a year. All yeah, a year.
Wow.
Mm. So when you're writing, do you write in silence or do you have to have a playlist that fuels your scenes?
Silence for my contemporary. So I always have a song that basically inspires me to write an entire series. So most of them are Taylor Swift. I'm a huge Swiftie, but for the Pucking Wrong series, for example, I heard Mastermind, And for some reason that just like did something weird to my brain. And I came up with this whole concept for the Pucking Wrong series, and in a way, the Wrong Player series. And then there's lesser songs that also feed into that theme. So in Ari Lancaster's book, The Pucking Wrong Guy, I had Olivia Rodrigo. Making the Bed was like the main theme song that I would play over and over again before I would write. While I'm actually writing, though, the only book that I've had music playing the entire time was the Romantasy that I just turned in to Podium. And I just had like, like fantasy sounding classical songs. Like I can't do anything with words, but music is a huge part of my writing process, just not necessarily while I'm typing out the words.
Yeah. I was going to ask you if you were a Swiftie because when I read "Marry Me," I was like, "Oh, it's another reference," and I
Yes.
was like, "I
So
bet you." Yeah.
see, this is Taylor Swift. Let's see.
Oh,
This
there
is
she
Taylor
is.
Swift. I was able to get my hands on she did a limited signed version of Life of a Showgirl, and I just happened to like get on right at the right time, and it's supposed to get here on like Friday. So I'm so excited. I'm finally going to have something that was actually like hand signed by her, and I may have gotten like two of the other vinyls too for the album. So I'm just I went to the Eras Tour 3 times, like, I'm going to the movie on Friday, like, I'm just pretty obsessed, so I owe a lot to Taylor Allison Swift, okay?
Aw,
Well,
if you're
definitely.
listening.
Right. And
Yeah,
it,
so Marry Me was, "'Tis the Damn Season." That's where this idea of, them, like, reuniting, except obviously she has it that the female was the star who's visiting her hometown, and I have the guy, but I listen to that song a lot to get like similar vibes out of Natalie, basically for that feeling from that song.
yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, if people haven't read the Pucking Wrong series, they should because there's a lot of Taylor Swift
Yes.
in there.
It's funny, I do it unconsciously sometimes, okay? So there's a scene in Fucking Wrong Guy where Ari like does like a red scarf around Blake's neck, okay? And Raven Kennedy, who's one of my best friends, she messaged me and because she was beta reading for me, and she was like, "Oh, this is totally Swifty coded, is it?" And I was like, "Oh, it is, but like not intentionally at the time I was writing it."
That's funny. What is the most surprising or unusual place you've gotten inspiration for a scene?
Hmm. Surprising.
Or unusual?
Okay, unusual would be I take a lot of things from my own life, like little bits. So, for example, Ari Lancaster, I keep on mentioning him, but he's like one of my favorite characters. But he has this drink, it's like a pumpkin chai latte with almond milk, and there's this whole scene. And so that came from that's like my favorite drink. And like I've always celebrated like pumpkin season, and like the start of that made a big deal, made everyone around me make it a big deal as well. So that was like an example. And then I'll do like eggs benedict is my favorite breakfast, so like I'll insert that for some of the characters. And like the chili that Jace cooks in The Wrong Play is like my family like always wins blue ribbon chili recipe. So like I just take a lot of things from little tidbits of life and like put them in my books. So and I guess that's not I guess it's a little unusual, I don't know.
I think that's great. It's like a little bit of yourself in every book.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love
Mm.
getting the recipes.
Yes, and
Yeah.
they're tried and true recipes, so I know they're gonna be good, so
Um, so this is gonna be like kind of we're gonna go to the publishing side. Um, what's something about publishing you wish you knew before you started?
oh gosh, I feel like it's do you mean, like, with a publisher or just publishing in general?
Publishing in general.
Okay. I mean, it's such a learning experience,
Mm.
right? Like, when I started, it was a complete accident that, like, I ever came to be, you know? I had IVF for we did it for 6 years, and then I got pregnant, and pregnancy went super well, but then my baby was born like extremely sick. She almost died. It was like the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Like I can barely talk about it without crying, like to this day, and she's 8 now. But I had severe postpartum depression, and I would just read. That was like a time when I went back into reading a lot, and I just got this idea to write a book, and I didn't tell anyone except for my husband, and it just was like this random thing that came to be, right? So I wasn't like prepared when I started for the whole thing because I had no idea what I was doing, and it was just like, I mean, something that I wrote just happened to resonate and with readers, and it ended up going viral, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I've made so many mistakes along the way, and I like to think that I learn and get smarter every year as I go along with what I'm doing and the team that I have around me, and just even knowing like what people to trust, and you know what to write, and what to focus on and things like that. Even like, the first round of edits, like I've learned so much more about editing. I still obviously have lots of people that look over and edit my stuff afterwards, but it feels like every time I do a draft, it can become cleaner and cleaner. And like I notice when I'm using more like certain words over and over. And so it's definitely a learning process. And I'm 7 years in now, and I still feel like I'm learning every day, just even with signings. Like I finally got like a setup for my last signing like 2 weekends ago that I'm like, oh, this is like a good setup. But it took me 7 years of signings to figure out like what I wanted it to look like. So I think me and my team are always learning and improving. But when you kind of just like fall into something that I was just supposed to be a lawyer my entire life. And then all of a sudden, like I'm an author and that's what like I do. Definitely a learning process just every day, but it's fun. Sorry, I'm very talkative, so I
No,
apologize.
that's
No, we
I
love
love
it.
Rambler.
No, we love it.
Yeah, we've had the experiences where we've gotten like one word answers and we're like,
Like, how are
so
we gonna expand
Go
this?
on this tangent, and then I'll take this tangent this way, and then we'll circle back around to what you actually asked. That's the vibe I like to do for interviews,
yeah.
No,
apparently.
So
it's perfect because then we can. It's like a conversation, not
yeah,
just like we're just throwing
Yeah,
questions at you, like
right.
here and
Yeah.
there.
yeah. So just we'll stay on this for a second longer, but to new writers, after you've been doing this for, like you said, like 7 years, what advice would you give someone who's just starting out?
I think the industry is very different than when I started, right?
Mhm.
I was able to just have this like passion project, this idea that I kept thinking of and couldn't get out of my head, and just kind of like release it and let everything fall as it may. I think things, just even like looking at release dates, like there are a million like solid heavy hitters releasing on every Tuesday now. Readers have more books to choose from than ever before. So I do think that you have to apply more of a business brain than necessarily than when I started. Like you can still combine passion project and business brain, but to really stand out, I think you need to like look at what's trending and what style of writing and who you want your readers to be and what you want to be like spending your days with. It has to be like, something that readers want, but also something that's not going to like kill you to have to write every day. I've been lucky because I think from the beginning I started out bouncing all around. And so I haven't been like pigeonholed in that I have to write just like one thing, because I just from the beginning it's like what a CR Jane like world is going to look like, but it could be like in completely different genres. You know what I mean? So like even though you're going to have this Christmas rom-com, you're still going to know like he like loves her so much and is like totally down bad for her, even if it doesn't have the same like all the same morally gray vibes of like some of the other series. So I've been lucky in that way that I've like set my readers expectations that like we're going to have fun, but like we're going to be dancing around a little bit.
Yeah. like for sure in this book he had a it was one of the guys in the sense that he's like, "Oh, no, 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 I definitely," you heard it was like an inner monologue where he's like, "Yeah, I definitely did something to her car so it wouldn't start
Mhm.
because I wanted to ride with her." And I'm like, "There it is. I
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
it."
I had a feeling too, like before it's even his monologue, because it was hers. Like, I can't. Where am I supposed to go? I was like, he did something because it's just like timed perfectly that he just rolls up.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Hey, what are you doing?
And the girls always fall for it. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And then I
Um,
thought for sure he screwed up he somehow canceled her reservation for the room. Not that I'm not telling too much, but just little pieces. But that's not what happened. But I wouldn't have put it past him.
yeah, wouldn't have put it past him. Natalie, though, she would be the one to assume that her sister was going to book the whole bridal party room. So it fits in with her personality very well.
So this one would be like an interesting. I don't know if you would be able to pick or not, but if you could swap lives with one of your characters for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh. So I feel like something with Lincoln Daniels would be like really hot, but like I would have to go in there with the right expectations that it was going to be like super overwhelming. But maybe just to experience like Lincoln Daniels for a day. Uh, for those listening, it's from The Pucking Wrong Number. He's like probably the most morally gray of the series. Not necessarily the most obsessed, but the most morally gray in what he's going to do. So he also is a billionaire. So like it just seems like it would be fun for a day, you know? But then like Ari and Jace would be a really fun time that you would just spend the whole time laughing because that's kind of like the voice in my head are Ari and Jace. So yeah, I mean, I think with all those guys, you can't really go wrong, but like I would just be like, let's see what Lincoln Daniels is like really like in real life, you know?
Good thing it's only a day, just in
Yeah,
case it gets a little
just a
bit
Yeah,
day,
much.
just in case it goes off the rails.
just a day. Because
If I end the night in handcuffs, like at least, when I wake up, it's over.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta at least try the Granny Airlines.
Yes, I'm like, I need to try the cookies, right? Like I need all of those people. So Mabel needs to like step it up. So yeah.
And get to meet Geraldine.
hmm Yeah, although so I base my grandma characters on my grandma, so I kind of feel like I've met them sometimes. She just is, she's almost 89 and she is just this like the most social person I have ever met. She lives in like one of those 55 and up communities. No one in the whole community knows that she's like that old because she like drives her golf cart around all the time and goes to like she has the most extensive social calendar that I've like she has like a lunch group and like 4 card groups and teaches water aerobics like 5 times a week. Like she just and she's very glamorous and like just she is awesome. And so, these characters that are very like vibrant and still like kicking it in
Yeah.
their older ages, it's like my kind of love letter to her because I just think she's so cool.
Yeah. I love Mima in this story. She was hilarious. And I was like, God, she's a stealing the show.
Right?
Yeah, yes, and my grandma tends to steal the show when she's around too, so it was easy to write.
Aw. Okay, so now let's chat about Marry Me. So I always like to ask, what was your inspiration in creating, like, how did you come up with this book?
So I referenced this a little bit earlier, but definitely I mean, I knew Natalie had to have a really good like story. As soon as, sometimes I bring these secondary characters in and they're, not meant to have their own story. But from the beginning, I was like, Natalie has to have something, like she's just too awesome to just be left out there with like, cheating football players and stuff. And so definitely like I feel like Natalie just created herself and then Tis the Damn Season just came in and I was like, oh, got it, you know? And it had to be like someone really cool, but I wanted it to be outside of the football world just because she's so obsessed with football that I wanted it to be like this completely different thing. And so that's where Easton came from. And yeah, I love them so much. I'm gonna take off my jacket because I'm like sweating. So sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
I love their story. It's kind of like it still has that like unhinged, obsessive, possessive MMC, but kind of like in a lighter, lighter version. But the banter is still
I
there.
Yeah, I wanted to really focus on female friendships in this one. That was kind of a trend that I started in Pucking Wrong Rookie, where I had more of the girls having scenes together. I wanted to showcase, and that was something that my readers asked for a lot, was like, well, what are the girls saying about this? And I was like, you know what? I do need, they're so important. I need to like show them more. And so it was really fun in Natalie's book to have like the girl version of the COT chats, Circle of Trust for people who haven't been introduced to the COT. So that was really fun to like build on that friendship and to kind of showcase those personalities more. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I knew I needed to write her, and I also knew though that so I have a lot of like really tragic backstories in my books. Um, some of that comes from, like parts of my childhood weren't very like happy. And I really like to have my characters like healing from things that are traumatic. But with Christmas, I wanted, you're always going to have that signature angst with a C.R. Jane book, but I just wanted it to be like a little bit lighter for the holidays. But it's funny because when I signed this book with Podium, I signed for a novella and they were like, it needs to be like, I don't know, 40,000 words. And I couldn't stop. And so then all of a sudden it's like as long or longer than The Wrong Quarterback, which was like over 100K words. So, sometimes you just meet characters and you just really like them and you just keep going. So that was them.
Yeah, and she definitely had a traumatic past. Not in the dark romance way, but yeah, like yeah, so yeah, her dad was a shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
I love that. I love the her closure, like when she that scene. That was like, oh, this is perfect. I love what she did. Like
Yeah.
without like
I wanted to make
feeling.
sure that also, they're going to have the push and pull. This is a second chance, right? But I also wanted to make sure that once the decision was made about anything, that she stuck to her decision and there wasn't this like waffling and stuff. I also like hate third act breakups and stuff. So, um, I just wanted to like stay true to what I enjoy when I'm reading to make sure that that was in Natalie and Easton's story as well.
Yeah.
I was a little bit nervous when I was like when that the dad popped up. I was like, there should not be a breakup at this point. Like,
I know, I did get
kind of
nervous.
like,
I'm like, "No,
"Ooh,
no, no."
please like
You're
tell me.
probably like, is he gonna have to handcuff her? Like, what's gonna happen?
I was like, because he kept saying like, nope, you're mine, no going back, like no take backs on this. It's no matter what, you're mine, kind of thing. And I was like, I hope there's no breakup. But so I was like, I was happy. We're like, oh yes, there's no breakup. Well, I mean, even with the Pucking series and the Wrong series, there was
There's
no
no
really
break.
breakup because they can't go anywhere anyway. So
They don't let them.
yeah,
There
I
could be
love
a breakup, but it's just not allowed. So
yeah. You're
I
like,
mean,
there's
with Wrong Date, I didn't even have her discovering what he did, like that was the fun thing in that is people were like, I didn't like that she never found out. And I'm like, that's just what I decided to do. And it was so much fun.
I mean, even if I don't think even if she found out, I think they were solid at that point. That's kind of like like I get
Yeah.
it.
To be
Whatever.
expected.
Uh-huh.
This is happening.
Yeah.
Um. So I know you said you signed this with Podium. Do you have like as far as the cover, this is an illustrated cover. Did you have like did you decide it to be an illustrated cover, or they pretty much says like this is going to be the cover?
Yeah, I got the art done actually myself and then sent it to them with an idea that wasn't like we went with the same artist, the same characters, just changed up my original premise that I'd come to them with. But I had seen this artist, Mayhart. I don't know if it's Mayharty or Mayhart, but she's really awesome and she does just great cartoon work. And I'm very, very picky about my illustrations. And I was like, can you just do a mock-up of this? And like I said, we ended up changing it a little bit to what it is now, but it's the same like characters that she had drawn for me, just in different poses. So yeah, I have lots of freedom when it comes to my covers. And so, I mean, some of them, it will be them coming to me, but for the most part, with the Pucking Wrong series and the Wrong Player series, like I have been the one to really come up with that vibe. So, yeah.
I love a good illustrated cover, and I think it worked like perfectly. To me, the book gave Hallmark Christmas movie, but with the spice we always wanted. Instead of just like the kiss at the end and there's the credits, this gave us everything we wanted, like little Christmas town and all the fun stuff.
I'm labeling it Holiday meets Sweet Home Alabama meets what was the third thing I said? I just put it on TikTok. I'm just going to reference it. I'm sorry, but I feel like it's important to like see what I'm comparing it to. Okay, I did the holiday times Sweet Home Alabama times the Notebook time Tis the Damn Season. So that's the vibes that you're getting in this book. Yeah.
Now, interesting. I was wondering as I was reading it, all the pre-wedding activities. How did you come up with that? Or and because I wonder, like, did she go to a wedding like this? Like, so, like all
Um,
the little
so
races and stuff.
yeah, so in the South especially, I feel like there's lots of pre-wedding activities. Um, and so I just tried to like turn that like concept of a wedding week into what would be like Hallmark Christmas themed. And some of it was a little zany, but it all seemed really fun, like something I'd like to do. So
I know. I want to be invited to a wedding like that.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was fun for everybody, but I don't like Natalie was like, I don't like, do I really have to do this? Like,
Yeah,
like
for
Oh, the
sure.
yeah.
skating for sure.
I
Hmm.
know. She was fine until Easton showed up, and then of course he was like perfect.
Hmm. And he had to be good at skating, like because he played ice hockey, remember? So I had to get that in as an ode to my COT boys. Yeah, and it's set in the same world as that too. So, when she talks about Lincoln Daniels like acts and stuff. Yeah.
I love that little tidbit.
Hmm.
He's definitely a jealous. Like, who are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
what?
But everyone knows who Lincoln Daniels is in this world, right? So he
Right.
just
Yeah.
I knew who she was talking about. I was like, yes, Lincoln is always everywhere.
That's
Everywhere.
right. Everywhere.
So this is really. Did any of the characters, like whether like main or secondary, kind of like surprise you during your writing, where they evolved differently than you first imagined them?
Um, I don't think so. I think with this one, I had their characters really strong in my head from the beginning. I was able to write it like pretty quickly, and sometimes it's really hard for me to like capture the characters. For example, in the Romantasy that I just wrote, I did 4 drafts before I really felt like I had that voice like perfectly how I wanted the characters. And so was very nice when you have that book where it just comes pretty easily. And luckily, I knew what Natalie was like from the beginning. So it was just about making sure she stayed true to that character throughout the whole book.
No,
So, and I think she did. I hope people think that she did. So, yeah.
I think so. I think it's like it's more or less like with her character development was like the healing part from, her childhood. But other than that, I think she stayed true, like, to who she was all the way.
And there's nothing I like more than a girl being able to heal. So, it's my goal with all of my girls. So
Yeah.
it was good to give her a happily ever after.
I mean,
Were
that
there
limousine, like, girl, like, you're one lucky girl.
um were there any scenes in this book that were particularly difficult to write?
Um, let's see. I mean, obviously the angsty ones. It's funny because I usually write terrible mothers, and that's for a reason. And this one we had like the terrible father. So, just capturing that and writing betrayal is always like more difficult. And also like humor, like sometimes it can come really easy, but then other times it's just like making sure jokes are popping and it actually is funny. And I mean, obviously not everyone who reads it will think everything I wrote was funny, but like if I'm making myself laugh, that's the main goal um of everything. So like I'm writing a text message book for the Circle of Trust. And like I am literally cracking myself up and I'm like, maybe everyone will hate this, but I at least like think it's hilarious.
I think that's gonna be one of your most awaited one because we always
Yeah,
want those group chat.
that's right. That's right. So
I know. I love those parts where there's text messages in books.
hmm yeah, it's my favorite thing to write. So yeah.
I love on the COT, it's like someone is always getting booted off.
Uh-huh. Yes. You
Like
have
it's
to keep up those
named.
guys. Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Um. Okay, so I know earlier we kind of asked you who would you swap for a day. So now we would, who would you spend a day with? Like with one of your characters, who would it be and why?
for friends, probably Natalie, right? Like I think it would be so much fun to have a day with her in general. Um, and then I don't know. The more that we've talked about it, the more I'm like, it'd be kind of fun to switch with Blake and just have like a day with Ari Lancaster and whatever like unfolds, make sure to bring some dogs along, like just have it be a good time. But definitely Natalie for like if I'm just gonna have like a fun day with girls, I think she would be so much fun. I'd love to go to a football game with her because I'm a huge football fan. And so I think it would be like so much fun to go to a game with her.
Yeah.
Hmm. Who's your favorite team?
So the Cowboys,
Okay. My
yeah,
husband is a diehard Cowboys fan, and we're from New York, so I don't know how that happened.
I'm from Dallas. So like some of my earliest memories are like the Super Bowl parties for the 90s Super Bowls. And just like my parents having tons of people over for them. So, it's a recipe for disaster, but it's a cross that I have to bear and it's something I was born with. So
Yeah. Oh, here's a really fun question. Out of all your books, which book would you choose to adapt into a movie?
oh
Just
gosh.
one, just one. Or
Just
series. You know what? You know what? Let's, because maybe we can really make this grow and we can turn it into season one, season two. I'm just
okay, let's do like split up into like parts. Okay. So Marry Me, I think just deserves to be like a holiday movie on Netflix. Like the one that like Lindsay Lohan's come out with the last like 2 years. Like it needs that treatment. And then I think that any of the Pucking Wrong or Wrong Player, I mean, I think maybe I don't know if like the endings would need to be changed a little bit in order to satisfy the like regular audience of theater goers. Um, but I think that they would be fun to capture that like you vibes, but like make them nice and not kill them at the end,
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think that, I mean, if the Pucking Wrong series gets into a series, definitely the Wrong Player series could
Yeah.
be a
Yeah,
spin-off. Like,
exactly.
just
And
they
actually,
playing
so
together.
Rich Demons of Darkwood is like my favorite co-write that I've done. That's with Mae Dawson. And it involves the Sphinx as well, which came from my alma mater, actually, my college alma mater, the Secret Society. And then translated in, I pulled it into the wrong quarterback as like another chapter. And so that series is so much fun. Like she's the daughter of a serial killer who's just turned in her dad. She starts at a secret society, or she starts at a college under a secret identity, and the four kings of the college basically find out who she is. And there's this like question whether she participated in her dad's murders, and like it's so much fun. So I think that would be like a great TV series if there was more, why choose series that were on TV, but it's like so dark and twisty and did she or didn't she like murder mystery, so it's fun. I gave you lots of options there, Netflix. Like, come on, let's do
Yeah,
it.
I mean, why not? Because like Netflix has those limited series, the Monster
Uh-huh.
limited series.
Yeah,
Why not? Like,
exactly.
she just have one or more.
Call me up. Call me
Right.
up,
Yes,
Netflix.
exactly. Yeah, we can do that. Petition to have that made.
Yes.
We can start with the rich demons of hockey kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that also a spin-off of one of your co-write,
So
right?
Rich Demons of Hockey is a spin-off of Rich Demons of Darkwood, which is the one we were just talking about. And but that whole world is also set in the Wrong Player world. So all of my contemporary books, with the exception of basically the Ivy Fox books, are also set in the Wrong Player Pucking Wrong world. So I'm just building like one gigantic world. So that's where you'll get like references to Ruining Dahlia in like some of the books, and Lincoln Daniels and all those things. And it's super fun to just like connect it because it's its whole world in my head. So yeah.
When I read the fucking wrong number, I didn't realize until like I was looking through all my like I was like, why is CR Jane's name familiar? I read Ruining Dahlia way, which I love because I love mafia.
That was my favorite book that I'd written before I wrote Pucking Wrong Guy. And then Pucking Wrong Guy took its place. But and it's funny because both of those books were done during like really dark times in my life. And I consider them like some of my most emotionally like sophisticated books. And so I don't know, like it's weird to see time pass and you're like, don't forget about Ruining Dahlia. Like it's so good. Like don't forget about it. So I'm writing a series with Jagger though, who's Jace's brother in the Wrong Player series. And that'll have connections with Ruining Dahlia. So I'm hoping that even more people will like discover that book too, like jumping from all around there into the dark mafia world. So it should be fun.
I was gonna ask about that. It's like, oh wait, she already wrote a mafia book. Are they gonna like pop up over on
Just like The Sound of Us, my rock star one that I wrote like my second year of being an author, that popped up in Pucking Wrong Date. And then it'll be in Cole's book, who is the oldest brother in the Davis clan. So I just have a whole plan. It's like one of those boards, where it has like pictures and the strings are like attached to it. That's like my head on any given day. So
Right.
I couldn't keep it straight if it was me. So I give you kudos.
thank you.
So for the listeners who haven't read Ruining Dahlia, you should read it in preparation for the mafia.
Read it along with, quarterback and play to prepare yourself. And, Lincoln always has a guy, and you just never know when that guy's going to pop up. So
Right? He always for anything. There's ask
that's
Lincoln.
right.
He's gonna give you a contact.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it okay, question. Like I know you've done, like the why choose and then just like male female one. Is it difficult, more difficult, one is more difficult than the other? when you're
So
writing?
the way that I wrote Why Choose for the most part were still very distinctive relationships. I think there's some Why Choose books where they're kind of all like intermingled a lot and there's like group sex happening a lot and stuff. And like in Rich Demons of Darkwood, there are more scenes towards the end that have more of the group dynamic, but I've always been really careful to, I really want to establish individual relationships. And most of the
Mhm.
time, the guys are, they're like maybe kind of friends, but also like frenemies. And so, I think that was good practice to begin with in switching to MF or just like if I go back and forth, because that's just my style is I prefer to really dig into individual relationships, even if there's, four relationships happening at the same time.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's super important because one of my pet peeves is like when there's a why choose and it's just not an even distribution of, I don't want to say power because that's not the right word, but you know what I mean? Like it feels like one's favoring the other more, and I hate that.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it's definitely difficult, but I think that's why I usually, when I was writing Why Choose, I tried to keep my harems at a manageable number so that it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I've got, kudos to authors who can do more than like four, but my sweet spot was like three for the most part of where I felt like I could really dig in. So,
Yeah.
Oof.
When
I
in
think I
Ruining Dahlia, it was their brothers, correct? They're
yeah, well,
to,
like half brothers.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, siblings. So I feel like it's harder to do like group scenes when they're like siblings. You know, it's different
There
when they're.
there aren't any. I mean, there's like one tentative kind of group scene in Ruining Dahlia, but they're very much like separate. So it's more, yeah. But Marry Me is MF for those wondering. And the Puppy Wrong series is MF and Wrong Player series is MF. So, and all my releases next for the next 2.5 years are MF. So if you're not into White Choose, you've got lots to choose from.
yeah.
Hmm. Um. Oh, okay. So for Marry Me, if it become, when it becomes, not if, when it becomes a movie, um, which one scene you would think kind of be like especially powerful to see kind of play out on screen? If you could pick
I loved the carriage scene, um, and I loved the sparkly poster scene. And we won't go into any more details to like spoil it, but I think those scenes would just be amazing to watch. And I just think actors could do a great job of really bringing those to life. So I was trying to put a lot of like lighthearted emotion into that carriage, like and going into the rehearsal dinner and stuff. So
one.
yeah, I think those would be fun.
When I read that scene, I felt like I could hear, like, I imagine little bells on the horses, and I could hear it. Like, I don't know, I just heard it in my head.
Yeah. And my narrators are so amazing. This was my first book with Sean Masters. I've used Alexis since the Pucking Wrong Number. But this was my first with him. And I just think they both just completely hit it out of the ballpark. And Alexis just knows these characters really well by now. I mean, obviously, she was just meeting Easton for the first time in this book, but, she'd known Natalie for two books already. And so she just had like the voice and everything down. And she already had to come up with good stuff for Geraldine. So Mima was like, just a fun thing. So
I feel like Mima's the star of the book, even though it's Natalie and Easton. It's like Mima is the star.
that's right.
Making her snow angel.
Uh,
And her one-liners are just like, wait, did she just? Yep, she did. She said that.
well, I just tried to capture that vibe because, at a certain age, you finally get to the point where you just don't give an F, right? And like my grandma's at that age, like Mima, Geraldine, they're all at those ages where they're just like, we are living our life and we're just going to say what we want. And so it's just, a funny thing about my grandma that reflects into these characters. So I had a signing And my family came to it for the first time, and it was a really big signing. And I had told them, like, okay, we got to keep, like, don't go talking to everybody about like me and stuff. We need to keep like this kind of like quiet.
Mhm.
And she marches into the store, goes up to the desk and says very loudly, "I'm CR Jane's grandma." And then she gets in line. Okay. This is like a long line. She gets in line with my stepmom, and they're like waiting to come, like they wanted me to sign something. They didn't have to stay in line, but they just did it. And my stepmom has to go to the bathroom, okay? And my dad's up in like the second story watching, like looking down, and he says he saw it. Like she went to the bathroom and my grandma watched her, and then just as soon as she was like out of sight, she made a beeline to my table, just broke from it, and came and sat next to me for the whole signing, and just like handed me stickers and stuff. And it was so funny. Like it was the funniest thing ever. I wish I could describe it better. But just those vibes were what I wanted to bring to Mima, just like I'm going to do what I want and it's going to be hilarious. So, yeah,
That is fun.
I bet that signing was fun though. Like,
it was fun. It was memorable for sure. And she already told me at the next signing that she comes to that she's just going to start at my table the whole time. And I was like, as long as you wear sparkly Christmas glasses, you're allowed to sit there.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's so great that like your family came, and I love that.
Yeah, it was really fun and special. And I think sometimes the author job title can be this very, what's the right word? Where it like doesn't almost seem real, like you can like see the books, you can like hear about it, but like there's just something about seeing an author in the wild, like talking to readers and stuff that I think really sunk in with my family. And I think that was the first time it really was like, oh, like she writes books and has like all these people who read them. You know what I mean? So it was kind of cool to have that kind of like awakening experience. So it was fun.
Have you ever gone into the stores and signed books?
Yeah, I do that quite a bit when I'm traveling because I like to go to new stores and wherever we are and like see what they have on their shelves and see if they're carrying me. And then I'll just like sign it while I'm there. And then I'll usually make a post in my Facebook group that's like, hey, these are, on 406th Avenue Street. And it's fun. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a signed one that you don't expecting that they're signed. So that would be like what do you call those? Kind of like the Pokemon cards that you're collecting. Like just collect them.
I had my first surreal moment though, like at my Dallas signing. It was like 3 weeks ago. I was on an airplane and I was recognized. And it was the first time that I've had that experience. And these girls were passing by and they were like, what should we download to read? And then I just, like you hear as like a reader, if you hear someone like, oh, books, you like look up. And the girl was like motioning to me and she was like, oh, what C.R. Jane book should we read? And it was like a super surreal experience because I was just like sitting on this airplane. It's not like I was wearing, anything that said like anything about the book. So that was definitely a, oh, like this is real kind of thing.
Wow, what a moment.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You're like, I've made it. I
Yeah,
did it.
someone recognized me.
But that's how it is for us. Like as readers, when we go and we meet our favorite authors, you are like celebrities to us. Like even like we knowing that we were able to get you on the podcast, it was like, oh my god, oh, I'm sweating, I'm nervous, she's coming.
I know. I was like, we were talking about it. Favorite authors. And I was like, okay, well, one of mine. I was like, Sarah Jane. We need to at some point. we need to get her because I was like, and when we saw that Valentine PR, like I was like, hey, should we try? Should we try to think like maybe we'll get her or not? Like is available? Like let's just email.
Well, just know it's just surreal for us. Like I still get emotional when I like have lines, at sightings. Like at that same one that my family came to, it was that was actually my first solo signing where it wasn't
Mm.
at like a bigger con. And like I was on the phone, I was by myself. Usually like I have like a PA or something with me, but I went early and people were going to meet me, but people had already been lined up for like hours. And so I walk in and there's already like the entire store, and this is a big store. Like this Barnes and Noble location was huge. And I walk in and there's already so many people there. And the person was like, and here she is now. And everyone started like clapping and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So just now it feels just as crazy and surreal for us to that there are people out there who like read our stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you could ever get used to the feeling of seeing your book on a shelf. Like, um, it's just the most surreal experience ever. And I'll never get used to it. I will just always have butterflies and be like dancing. It can be like 15 years from now, and I'll still just be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's crazy. This is one of those tangents. We just went off, and I don't even know what the original question was, but here we are.
Doesn't matter.
This doesn't
Oh, we're
matter. We
talking
got
about like movies. A
oh
movie.
yeah.
And then we went, I don't
And
know.
I don't even know where we ended. It's just like, we just went with vibes. That's what we
Yeah, that's it. Oh, okay. So this is the last question.
okay.
Let's see where it takes us.
Okay.
Uh, um, what do you have planned for the future aside from all the books that you have scheduled out for 2.5 years? As far as any special editions or signing events, do you have anything coming up?
So next year, I've got a lot, I think. I have Wild and Windy West in Phoenix in February. Then I have a Polycon in DC in April. Then I'm doing a signing. It's the first time it's been in this San Diego location at the new Gaylord
Oh, fun.
in June. And so I'm excited about that because I love Gaylord hotels. I don't know, I just think they're so cool. So that's with Spicy Reads. And I think tickets are still available for that one. They're sold out of the first two. And then, oh gosh, I have one in August. Where is it? I can't remember.
Orlando.
Then, yes, that's
Orlando.
September though, right?
Oh, is it
Yeah,
September? Oh, okay,
I think it's
September.
September. I think I have one before that, but I have Fangirls in September, and that's the first year for that. And I think it's going to be just huge.
It is, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be so much fun. It's at Disney World. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then also, so I have my Dark Cowboy series is signed with Entangled. And so they're going to send me a tour for that in October. Oh, and then I'll be in Vegas again at the end of October as well. So that'll be like a lot of
That's
signings.
a lot
Yeah.
of traveling too.
I gird my loins and like get ready. But I love to travel and it's so much fun. Like I've never been to San Diego before, so I'm excited about different places and I don't know, that's probably all I do, but there was like a couple signings I did this year that were really fun in fun locations. So who knows? I might just be like, "Can I come?" Like I just like it. Like let me just show up. But the next 2.5 years are just going to be crazy. And they're going to be tons of books in different genres. Um, I had mentioned before I'm launching my first romantasy, and it's my first completely trad book. So
Oh,
I'm hybrid for all of my books that have come out so far. That's like where I've kept ebook rights or audio rights or something, but that I'm full trad for that. And so I'm just really excited to see what happens with that, especially with my first like big romantasy trilogy. And then I've got Dark Cowboy, I've got Mafia, I've got Baseball, I've got Wrong Catch, which is book 3 in the Wrong Player world. And again, you have a little sneakeroo about those characters and Maddie's girl in this. And so I've got a lot and I'm super excited. I'm trying to take one day at a time to get through everything because it's a lot. It's a lot. Um, but I think I can do it. So if I just post a picture of myself like just laying on the floor, we'll know I failed. But you know, I just gotta keep to my schedule and it'll be great. So
Listen, if you can pass the bar, you've got this.
true. That's why I'm like, I went to mother effing law school and
Right.
I had old men screaming at me for all of my adult life. Like if I can handle that and just like deal with it, I can write these books. So, but I think, we'll see. It's crazy. I'm releasing a holiday book in October because you want as long of a season as possible, right? So, I'm hoping people will still, be ready to read in October and then, it'll continue to have speed as we go through the holiday season. But I'm excited about them. And you
It's
get
a perfect
illustrations.
reread too for like the whole November and then prepping for Christmas and then okay, it's December, it's Christmas, let's reread, like just
Yeah,
like it's a
that's what I'm
perfect
hoping.
reread.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can get those vibes with all the readers and that they'll be excited to get back into the wrong player world. Because people love Jason Parker and really accepted them so much. So we'll see what they think of Natalie.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna go really, really well, honestly, because and I'm not one of the crazies. I don't want to see Christmas stuff until after Thanksgiving. Where I live, I mean, I can see that these people are getting ready. They're gearing up for this Christmas business, and I am not ready. But anyway, I think it's gonna go really well. People are ready. The stuff's in the stores. All the
Yeah, I
Christmas
saw
shit.
this. I keep seeing these videos, like Instagram knows me well, and it'll be like Walmart wants me to be like in my Halloween costume cooking a turkey with my Christmas tree on. And then there was another one that was like my moods, and it was for September, and it was like looked in one aisle and it was like, this is Halloween, and it was all the decorations, and then they literally went like this, and it was a Christmas aisle that was like Mariah Carey playing. Exactly. I feel like how holidays have gotten. So I'm hoping we can capture that like vibe, like it may be Halloween time, but you're gonna want, a little obsessed Hollywood star trying to get his girl back.
We should market this to Filipinos because in the Philippines, September 1st, Christmas already. Like
Oh
Christmas
my
Okay.
is not
gosh.
up. We call it the Burr months because September, October, November, like those months. As soon as September 1st hits, every house, even the malls, already have Christmas
Really?
decorations. Yes.
That's awesome. I think we should adopt that. I mean, I think we could all use some like holiday spirit right now. So like let's just we're having all the holidays right now. We can wear our pumpkin costume with a Santa hat and eat our turkey and it will be great. No one will get hurt if we just do that.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
got the pumpkin spice latte in
That's
one
right.
hand, the Santa hat.
Exactly.
We'll
Exactly.
eat turkey.
Exactly.
We'll just mix everything.
Fried
Um,
turkey though. That's where it's at.
It's and I don't know this, and I apologize if I should know it, but is this your first holiday book?
So, I've had 2 others. This is my first traditionally well, actually, that's wrong. Pucking Raw on Christmas was a hybrid that Podium also published last Christmas. But I released it like when I released that, I think the year before, I released it like 10 days before Christmas. So it was like a very short season, and then it was really fun to have out in stores for this past Christmas season. But it's a novella, so it's a quick read for anyone wanting like Christmas in the pucking world, right? And then I have a MFM book called The Naughty List. I'm looking at the cover right now. With Mila we released a long time ago. And that's like a fun, like very spicy, again, shorter book. So this is my first like release it plenty of time for the holidays, have it be like a super thick book, like my first like really full length Christmas book where I'm going like all in and posting videos of myself in a Santa hat singing to Mariah Carey. So
I
Yes.
think I saw those on TikTok
Yep.
earlier.
It's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe I'm doing. So, I'm sure that if my law partners like run across me now, they're like, look at her. Look at her in her Santa hat.
Hey, but it's fun.
It
It's
is
fun.
so
It's so
fun.
much
Like, oh
fun.
my gosh. It's
They're
way
just
fun.
jealous.
Yeah, they'll be
Right.
like
They
just
wish
like
that they could. Yeah. They wish that they were mouthing along to Taylor Swift in a Santa hat.
okay, because I'm nosy. Is the Pucking Around series finished with the rookie or?
I don't know. No, just kidding. I've already like spoiled this for people, so it's not a big deal. I did leave an Easter egg in book 5 in Rookies about someone I'll eventually do. So, but we've got to get through Cole and Jagger and Jagger's friends and Maddie, and there's going to be another guy in the wrong player series most likely. So it's just a lot. I wish I could write faster, but also like you can only like release. Like it would be so nice if I could just get these books and do like a release every month, but like you can't do that. So you have to have like a little bit of space in between, which is the bane of my existence. But evidently that's like an important thing that you don't release every 30 days when they're actually going to be on the shelves at bookstores. So yeah,
Can you
I'm
imagine? It will be like just one portion. It's just CR James. Like this is her corner.
No, it's funny though because so obviously there's 5 books in the Pucking series, then the Christmas one, which is 6, and then I've got the 2 for the Wrong Player series plus Marry Me. That's in like a when did we start? When did we start coming out with those? I think Podium has it been a year since the trad pud? It was like it might have been like last July. I think maybe it was when the first one, like not this one, but the last one. So just since July 24, I'm already like half a shelf at the store right now. And by the end of 26, I will be like, you will, even if you just have one copy of every book, it will be an entire shelf. So it's kind of cool,
That'll
to
be your
think
own
about.
shelf. It's
So
been like designated CR Jane shelf. That's
Right.
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Can you
Exactly.
just I'm looking for the CR Jane section. It's like not romance,
Right?
it's the CR
Goals.
Jane
CR
That's my
section.
Jane.
goals right there to just be able to walk in and like, oh, this is like what I'd like to see. They're like, oh, right away. When you have that first book, it's like tucked in between like, 4 other authors. And now it's like, oh, you actually, as you're scanning across, it's like 5 titles, or 7 titles right there. You can't miss. So yeah.
Mm.
That's exciting. So our the goal is to have a CR Jane section in every
Yes,
bookstore.
right.
I have an empty shelf it's just waiting to be filled up. So
I
That's
told
right.
you
I'm
by
halfway
the
there.
my shelf down there. Yeah, it's almost the full shelf because I have all the oh gosh, the special edition and then, the model covers. So I'm gonna look for the other ones. We'll see how much I can haggle and Mercari.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been a crazy ride. So, but it's good. And even though after 2.5 years I might faint, 2.5 years from now, we'll talk and it'll be like, how are you doing? And it's like all my hair is gray. Botox has worn off, like it's just a bad vibe. But I would have made it. So
Maybe in 2.5 years, besides the book, maybe we'll have like a movie or a series by then.
right. My dreams. My
Let's
dreams.
manifest it.
Yes.
We're gonna throw it out there. It's perfect because I mean, hockey. There's always gonna be like, it's something. It's just unhinged vibes.
And I really credit romance books, like these hockey romance books, for bringing a whole new, like kind of like how Taylor Swift has brought this whole new, female audience to the NFL. I feel like our romance books have also done that for hockey. I don't know that they'll ever really acknowledge it, but like when I have season tickets to hockey and I've been to tons of the Las Vegas games as well. And like you'll just see that I know this was not the case a few years ago. Now there are just like groups of women going to these games, and it's so cool to see and expand that. And like I really think it's because of these books, like getting, you into the boy aquarium and all of that. So it's fun.
I agree.
I mean, I've watched one hockey game years ago when we lived in Alaska because the doctor I was working for was the team doctor, so we always have free tickets. So I was like, sure, I'll tell. I don't know anything about it. I was like, thankfully there was drinks, so we were like at the bar, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm watching. But now, it's like hockey romance is one of my favorite sports romance. I was like, so, like my son will be like, "Can I play hockey?" No, you're not ruining this romance genre for
Oh,
me.
right,
No,
right.
you're not ruining it for me. I'm sorry. No, find other sport.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Well, well, that brings us to the end of the episode.
This has been so much
So
fun,
thank you.
guys.
It was. We learned a lot, and you're so fun, and you're beautiful, and I love your books.
Thank
So
you.
I appreciate you were able to make the time to meet with us, and it was a pleasure to celebrate the newest release, Marry Me.
I feel like I should end the episode.
Do it.
Do
There we
it.
go.
Here we go.
Let's get in the
Like this.
spirit.
Comes out October 7th, or when I don't know when this airs, but read it.
Hey, I wore a Dallas Knights sweater.
Oh, yay. I love that.
You can't see it, but like,
Yes. That
I was like,
looks
oh, this is perfect to like wear today.
that is
Yeah.
gorgeous. Meanwhile, I'm stripping because I'm like hot.
I know.
Oh, I'm sweating. I'm just like, I don't have any other top
I don't either.
underneath, so I'm like, I can't take off. Like,
Well, that's one way to get viewers is to do it in our bras, right?
That's a good idea. No, just kidding.
no.
I don't wear bras, so no, I'm kidding.
Hey, I'm at that age. I don't have to wear any, and I don't have. Yeah. Let's end this before we like.
This is one of those tangents, guys. We've just gone.
I know. All right, we're bringing it back. Bringing it back. Marjorie, go.
Oh yeah, well, this like she said, thank you so much. We had so much fun. We can't wait to like see what's next after Marry Me. But yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been so much fun. Like, truly, I've had a blast.
And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to Unfiltered Romance Nights so you never miss an interview or a book chat. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Unfiltered Romance Nights Podcast. You can DM us with any questions or any authors you'd like to see. Well, that's all. See you next time.
Until next time, keep your books spicy and your nights unfiltered. Bye.